Let's see the fear now. I got the driving hot sparks, leaving scars for remorse. I got bark, won't starve. I am my dreamer. I'm a master of my fate. I'm a master of my fate. I'm a master of my fate.
This week on TNA Xplosion, Gia Miller goes around the ring with John Skyler of the Good Hands. The Don West, you've got to be kidding me, top 5 trending topics of the week. In case you missed it, and our main event will see singles action as Hammerstone squares off with Conan Lycan. But first, it's the former TNA World Champion Steve Maclin taking on Judas Icarus. Xplosion starts now.
The following contest is set for one fall. Introducing first, being accompanied by Travis Williams, Judas Icarus.
We're ready for action here inside the Impact Zone. And as we've seen recently on TNA Impact, it appears Josh Alexander has found himself 2 like-minded individuals in Travis Williams and Judas Icarus.
Josh Alexander spoke a lot about that killer instinct that he looks for. He sees it in himself, and he sees it in the likes of Sinner and Saint, Travis Williams, and Judas Icarus. And I have to agree. Just look at these guys.
Icarus ready for action here on Xplosion.
His opponent from Rutherford, New Jersey, Steve Maclin.
The former TNA World Champion Steve Maclin looking to take the fight to Judas Icarus with Travis Williams in his corner. And gee, as we've seen recently on TNA Impact, Steve Maclin has backed up Eric Young in a way that I know you and I were not expecting for years. No one's been able to trust Maclin.
No, but I mean, an unlikely duo for sure, and it's working. So after what went down, but the attack from Josh Alexander to EY, Maclin backing it up, and then seeing Judas Icarus, Travis Williams get involved, I mean, we know there's a lot of animosity in this ring here tonight.
It's an opportunity for Macklin to go one-on-one with Judas Icarus for the first time ever. Icarus, we know, is a gifted tag team competitor, but going up against Steve Maclin is going to be a completely different animal. Steve Maclin is someone who is very familiar with Josh Alexander. However, this version of Josh Alexander, Gia, that we've seen over the last few months here in TNA has got to be very unfamiliar to a lot of people.
Absolutely. Unfamiliar is exactly the word that I'd use to describe it. Unfamiliar and uncomfortable. It's a side of Josh Alexander I don't think anyone thought that we would ever see, but expect the unexpected here in TNA.
Very curious to see how this matchup goes. Judas Icarus holding on there to the side headlocks. I mentioned typically is a tag team wrestler alongside Travis Williams. Steve Maclin has a long history in tag team wrestling that predates his time in TNA. Oh, a back elbow there by Maclin.
Absolutely. And like you said, Judas Icarus, a relative newcomer here to TNA, but he is still an impressive individual. He made his way here for a reason.
Our referee, Frank Gastineau, trying to get Judas Icarus back inside the ring. It took a moment there to converse with Travis Williams, strategize a little bit. What's the word that you're hearing amongst the roster about Steve Maclin?
I think there's a lot of shock and surprise there, too. I think just like we didn't expect to see this side of Josh Alexander that we've seen, a lot of people didn't expect to see this side of Steve Maclin. Ooh. Ooh.
Trying to keep Maclin in place there. Double chop right to the chest. Oh, and a knee right to the gut by Maclin.
Macklin has been such a dominant killer and honestly pretty nasty in so many situations. I mean, we saw him stalk Josh Alexander for the better part of a year when he was the world champion at that time. Ooh! But it seems like Eric Young really did get to Steve Maclin, and I think it's for the better.
Oh. Got him to turn over a new leaf, so to speak.
As dominant as Macklin was with that nasty attitude, I mean, just imagine how far he can go with his head on straight.
Look out. And Icarus was nearly caught in the crosshairs. And there's Travis Williams on the outside, trying to get the attention of Steve Maclin. Referee Frank Gastineau checking on Icarus. And Williams trying to attack Macklin on the outside.
Uh-oh.
And that created enough of a distraction for Icarus to go after Macklin.
I can understand their strategy here, but I can't say it's necessarily a smart one. Steve Maclin is not a man you want to get angry.
Icarus had the attention of the official and now charges after Macklin. And now Icarus from the second rope. Uppercut. Down goes Macklin. Here's the cover. Shoulders down and a kick out.
I am never unimpressed when I watch anything that goes down in a TNA ring, and despite the mindset that it seems Judas Icarus and Travis Williams have adopted, I am still impressed with the athleticism, the tenacity, the ferociousness that Icarus is bringing here tonight, and I think he knew he was gonna have to give everything he could facing off against a ticked off Steve Maclin.
I completely agree with you, two incredible athletes, and now Macklin, some chops off the ropes, bringing the fight to Icarus. A kick right to the midsection, trying to slow up Macklin. Oh! Big forearm shiver.
Ooh.
And now Icarus off of the rebound, nicely done. Able to drop Macklin, here's the cover. And a kick out by the former world champion.
It almost seemed like Icarus was out on his feet, just using that momentum, flying across the ring and using all of his body weight. And I mean, it worked out in his favor. Right now, he's in control.
You can see, I believe Macklin is busted open at the mouth. It's been a physical, hard-hitting matchup thus far.
And we know that Steve Maclin is no stranger to blood.
And now Icarus trying to control this matchup, doing everything he can to shut down the explosivity of Macklin.
If there's one thing we know about Macklin is that he doesn't give up easy. Even when you think he's done, he's still got a whole lot left.
See how Icarus once again planted his foot right on top of Macklin's foot to prevent him from moving anywhere. Macklin felt that once again and retaliated. He had an answer for it. Survive and adapt. And now Macklin starting to build some momentum here. Oh, a nasty backbreaker. And Macklin with a clothesline in the corner to Icarus. Off of the ropes, a big clothesline by Macklin. Now Icarus trying to slow down this barrage by Macklin up onto the shoulders. Oh, look at that! Dumping Icarus with the TBT. Oh, and a kick out by Icarus.
Wow. I have to give it to Icarus. That takes a lot to be able to kick out of really anything from Steve Maclin, but I mean, I have to admire his able to keep himself in the fight.
Trying to set up for the KIA, had him hooked. Travis Williams trying to run interference, and Icarus surprise him. No, a kick out there by Macklin.
Uh-oh.
Now Icarus trying to set him up, trying to finish off this match. Oh. Series of open palm strikes here by Icarus. Oh, and a big bomb dropped by Macklin. Oh! And both men connecting there, it seemed. And now Icarus charges at Macklin. And there's Williams. Oh, Williams nearly got his head taken off. Icarus is caught in the crosshairs. And now Macklin with the KIA. Tag him and tag him.
Here is your winner, Steve Maclin.
Steve Maclin takes care of business against Icarus and Williams tonight on TNA Xplosion. Still to come, we'll see Hammerstone go one-on-one with Conan Lycan. But up next, TNA Plus presents From the Vault here on Xplosion. Welcome back to Xplosion, and now TNA Plus presents From the Vault.
But did he teach Sonata everything he knows? Obviously not. That's the difference. He may have taught Sonata everything, but maybe not everything Muta knows. You know, the great Muta, known as a wrestler who has held more major championships than anyone else in the history of Japanese wrestling. November the 1st, the Wrestle One promotion will have a major event where they will celebrate the 30-year anniversary of the great Muta as a wrestler at Tokyo Sumo Hall.
Wow. Yeah, well, James Storm also, I'm just thinking this, I mean, he's the only American out here. Well, except for the referee, Brian Stifler, but who knows where he's from. We don't know if he's American, Stifler, right? But you know, so you gotta be careful. You never know if the great Sonata, I mean, he's definitely got like, he's kind of, his brain is engulfed with info overload by Storm. But you never know. I mean, what if the great Sonata decides, you know what, Storm, I'm going back. Oh! Wow. Ooh, wow.
The answer back to the great Muta from the great Sonata. You remember the first time that you saw the great Muta? Think back to the late 80s NWA promotion when he was managed by Gary Hart at the time, and the amazing feuds that Muta had with the likes of Sting, Ric Flair, and Lex Luger. Is now Muta turns things over to Tajiri.
Power and strength advantage there by the Cowboy.
And again, like we've heard, and I know you're going to respond to that as well throughout tonight, there's a TNA fan base kind of vocal here at Korakuen Hall.
Totally. I mean, they're going against the Japanese buzzsaw Tajiri.
Ooh, perfectly placed drop kick by Tajiri. And it's pretty obvious that his offense is going to be directed in terms of kicks at the lower body, at the legs of Storm. Stuck into the clothesline by Tajiri.
Oh! grabbing that beer.
Handle.
Oh! Look at that mist juice spilt all over. I guess that's what it's called, like a mist juice spilled all over them.
It's kind of like when you've got your dip.
What?
I've kind of seen that before many times.
Come on. I'm begging you.
Yeah,
But
that's
right
exactly it, as a matter of fact.
What the?
Usually you're wearing a shirt, though. Here comes Tajiri. Oh, right, and Sonata caught him flush with both boots right in the head.
They see Tajiri. He's smart enough to know he's not going to waste time. He's going to go right after the great Sonata, but where's Sonata going? He saw Manic do that earlier. Now, what's going on under this ring there? Everybody's going under there.
Look at me.
Maybe they got like a sushi bar under there or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, referee Stifler checking as well. Storm and Muta at the same time, curious about what's going on underneath there.
Yeah, what is the deal here? If we don't have a camera under there, we can see what's happening. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Well, Sonata using.
Look at his face.
Look at the face of Tajiri. Completely
Realize
covered.
that, yeah.
I believe that was the blue mist from Sonata right in that's covering.
I don't know if he dipped his face in a bucket of mist under the ring. Mist juice bucket. I don't know what's going on. I mean,
but Storm now gonna try and take advantage. Watch the way that he wraps the leg of Tajiri around that bottom rope. Well, you know, the level of disrespect
yeah, totally.
it started here in the States with the attack on Muta, and Storm just showing a total lack of respect, spitting in the face of the legendary, the cultural icon, the great Muta.
Just imagine, I mean, if you're the great Sonata, I mean, what is it that the Cowboy James Storm is putting in your brain? What is the Cowboy James Storm putting in the brain, hold on, of Manic? You know, this cult, this revolution that he's starting. For someone like Sonata, the great Sonata, to turn on his mentor, the great Muta, to turn on his country, it's crazy.
Storm with the knee drop. Oh, Tajiri avoids Sonata the first time, but then the follow drop kick. Gonna lead to a pin attempt here with the leg hook for 2. You know, it's Sonata and it's Manic in the revolution of James Storm, but James Storm may not be done yet.
Well, I don't think so. I think Tajiri, though, he's got to really try and get the great Muta into this matchup. What are you smirking at today? What are you laughing? You said something I didn't hear. What you say to me? You said something smart out.
No, I'm watching Tajiri with a series of elbows.
Gave me like a dirty look. Gave me a little
I give you a dirty look, all right. It has nothing to do with the match or commentary, that's for sure.
Hold on now. The Cowboy referee's trying to get control.
Yeah, referee trying to keep Storm out of this matchup. Yeah, claiming, I guess, that Storm's not the legal man. Tajiri, a dazed Tajiri who hasn't been the same since he went underneath the ring.
Oh,
and now,
wow, what is that?
Sonata using some kind of an object.
Not quite sure what that is.
And then gonna try and pin Tajiri right here, but Tajiri able to dig down deep and kick out. Sonata right back on him with the offense. Oh, Tajiri springs back with the elbow. One of his patented moves. Now the tag is in, and now it's the great Muta and the great Sonata. And how about the offense here by Muta? Gonna try and take out the leg, and there's that dragon screw leg whip.
Well done. I mean, no one can do that as well as the great Muta. That dragon screw. Oh, get out of here with that weapon.
Yeah, gonna turn it around on Sonata after Sonata used it against Tajiri.
This is big time payback. Oh, God, this is just like, as the expression goes, man, he's taking great Sonata to the woodshed here. Oh, man.
Vicious shot to the side of the head with the chair. And Muta not done yet now. We're taking one of the TV cables from around the ringside area. Weak and Sonata rolled back in.
You can just see the great Muta just picking his spots and
so many of his signature moves. That spinning corkscrew type elbow for a
Classic.
2 count before Storm in. Dragon screw leg whip, that
Classic
kind of
great
an elbow
Muta
really
stuff.
is.
Yep.
You think of the move we saw earlier, the Shining Wizard, a move that the great Muta invented.
So MVP's the man you're talking about. That's who used that move, Mike.
Watch Sonata and Storm. First it's Storm flying off the top with the elbow. And then speaking of Muta,
the moonsault.
Right, moonsault, the pin, and Tajiri the save. You're right, trying to beat Muta with another one of Muta's patented moves.
Uh-oh, look at this. Cowboy's got Tajiri. Go Iron Storm,
That's
baby.
what the attempt is. Tajiri trying to fight him off and does.
Oh my God. Whoa, what a bad landing there.
Storm with a thud.
Wow.
On the entrance ramp.
Good
Speaking of
God.
a shot.
Good God, he's got to be out.
Sonata laid out by the Tajiri kick. Japanese buzzsaw going to try and finish him off. That kick missed. Uh-oh, contact made with referee Stiflin. Oh, the green missed and the missed answer. I don't think either was on target.
Blue, green, red, all sorts of colors flying all over the place over here.
Oh! And then the double missed from Tajiri and Muta.
That was cool, I gotta say.
Followed by the kick.
Muta there it is!
Shining Wizard. Oh, he caught him flush. Drilled Sonata in the side of the head. Stifler counts 2 and 3.
Redemption.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, the team of Tajiri and the great Muta.
Redemption, redemption, redemption for the legend himself, for the great Muta on the great Sonata.
And now, here on TNA Xplosion, it's time for the Don West You've Gotta Be Kidding Me Top 5 Trending Topics of the Week in honor of the late great TNA Hall of Famer, Don West. At number 5, it was recently on TNA Impact in San Antonio, Texas, that Laying Lee made her in-ring debut in TNA. And suffice to say that the latest signing to the Knockouts division was absolutely spectacular, delivering Thunderstruck, translating to Thunder Shadow. Welcome to TNA, Laying Lee. At number 4, it was recently on NXT that tensions exploded between Zachary Wentz and NXT's Wes Lee. That culminated on October 1st in an epic street fight on NXT, and we are looking forward to seeing Zachary Wentz back in the fold here in TNA. At number 3, at Bound for Glory on October 26th, live on pay-per-view and TNA Plus in Detroit, Michigan, Monsters Ball returns as PCO will defend both his championships against Matt Cardona at Bound for Glory. You can get your tickets now via etix.com. At number 2, recently on TNA Impact, Jordan Grace, the Knockouts World Champion, had a mystery partner from NXT to go up against Wendy Chu and Rosemary in tag team action, and it was Sol Ruka who hit the epic Soul Snatcher in the midst of that matchup. Unfortunately, Tasha Steelz interrupted the bout. Jordan Grace and Sol Ruka proved to be a heck of a team, however. And at number 1, as we saw recently on Impact, Joe Hendry defeated Frankie Kazarian and is now the number 1 contender to Nick Nemeth and the TNA World Championship. It'll be Nemeth versus Hendry for the TNA World title at Bound for Glory. Still to come, we'll see Hammerstone go one-on-one with Conan Lycan. But up next, it's Around the Ring with Gia Miller, starring John Skyler of the Good Hands. That's next on Xplosion. Welcome back to TNA Xplosion, and now it's time for Around the Ring with Gia Miller.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mean Gia Miller. This is Around the Ring, and today I'm sitting down with my good buddy, my Carolina boy, John Skyler. John Skyler, thanks for sitting down with me today.
Thank you for having me, Gia. It's called Around the Ring, but I don't see a ring.
Well, there's a ring around here somewhere.
There's got to be.
Yeah, there is one. But yeah, listen, this one had to be a little more formal because this is a special one because I have you here.
Oh,
you
well, I'm
know?
glad I dressed up.
Yeah. I'm respecting the shirt big time.
Thank you.
But okay, so this show is not about wrestling, unfortunately. We don't talk about wrestling. I have something I do want to talk about with you, though, because I've been following very closely on, I'm still calling it Twitter. I know it's called X, but I'm calling it Twitter. Twitter thread about your Charlie, your boy,
My puppy.
your pup.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know this story, it's a thread. It's the whole story is there, so you got to go and check it out. But I need to hear it straight. Tell the people.
Well, you can follow me at the John Skyler if you want to know the whole story.
Yeah.
But basically, almost 2 years ago, I was doing an independent show in Georgia, and I checked into my hotel room. I see this little dog playing on the floor in the lobby, and I can't. I'm one of those guys. I can't walk past a dog
No,
and not
absolutely
pet
not.
them.
Of course.
So I was asking the staff there at the hotel. I go, can I pet this dog? Whose dog does this? Who does this belong to? And they said, well, he actually got abandoned here last night, and we found him in the pool area. I guess his owner had just dropped him outside in the pool area. And so I said, well, if I go and buy him a leash and a collar, can I take him to the wrestling show tonight around the corner? And they were like, yeah, we don't think his owners are coming back for
Yeah.
him. So I ended up going that night. Or I went that day to get a leash and a collar, took him to the wrestling show, and he just crashed all day at the wrestling show. And I was like, I think I can I think I can deal with this. So I took him back to the hotel, and they said, look, we think that you're probably going to be able to keep him because we don't think anybody's going to come back for him. And, you know, here we are 2 years later, and he's more popular than me on social media. So he's the best boy ever. You know, he's my best friend and my only roommate. So, we get along great.
He is quite the handsome boy.
He's got a lot of followers, too, now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on Instagram. He's got his own account now.
Oh, yeah.
I Heart Charlie.
Oh, he's such a good boy. Okay, so there have been lots of updates, and with pets, we know there are lots of ups, lots of downs, and you just ended up with him. Have you had to have any deal with any health issues or anything like that?
Right after I got him, he got into a toy, and he ate part of it and actually swallowed it because he was on that chewing phase where he was, eating up all my furniture, eating up everything valuable of mine.
Yeah,
he ate it all.
That looks good.
Yeah, and then a chew toy is what almost did him in. I had to take him to the ER, and that was a very costly trip. But do anything for your pup.
Yeah, they become your kids.
100%.
And it's I'm like, man, what type of person would just dump a sweet little baby? But then it's like, it happened for a reason because you were there and right into your arms. Yeah, perfect time.
And now we're like this.
Yes, it's so wonderful. Okay, so is he your only pet?
Right now, yes, he's my only pet.
Yeah, so he's so pride and joy, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I didn't know if I was ever going to get a dog again just because that process of having to say goodbye to them is so tough.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, when they come walking into your life, you got to...
They choose you.
And here everybody thought nobody would ever choose me.
Aww.
Everybody thought I was this mean guy, and now I have...
But dogs know. They know the truth. They can pick it up on people, and so I think that says a whole lot more about you than what any person could ever say. Is that Charlie chose you?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, John.
We already done?
Oh yeah, this goes by fast, especially when you're talking about fun stuff.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for sitting down with me. Maybe we'll have to have you back, and we'll have to have Charlie here with you.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe if we ever get to run in South Carolina. Maybe.
All right. Hey, it'll happen.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, John. Guys, this has been Around the Ring.
Up next, did you miss anything from Impact? No problem, as we'll get you all caught up. It's In Case You Missed It, next on Xplosion. Welcome back to TNA Xplosion, and now it's time for In Case You Missed It.
The Impact World Championship on the line here in the main event of Bound for Glory. Josh Alexander defends against Eddie Edwards. Despite the war of words between these two men with very similar paths here in Impact Wrestling, both debuted in record-breaking tag teams, moved on to become X Division champion. Both tried to use Option C to win their first world titles, certainly encountered their own roadblocks along the way. Both two-time Impact World champions, and both have had a claim to being the heart and soul of Impact Wrestling.
Two very, very similar careers, but turning into two very different people. Tom, I'm a big fan of symbology, iconography. And there's something about what the two men are even wearing. Josh Alexander draped in Bound for Glory blue, representing this company down to its very core. Meanwhile, Eddie Edwards highlighted in red the flames of war, a war he's been waging on Impact Wrestling for months and months.
The official separates the two before the count of 5. Already a little contentious between Alexander and Edwards. I can only imagine having their families at ringside, sitting so close together, what they may have stirred up in the minds of both Alexander and Edwards.
Well, for Josh Alexander, both Jen and Jet have been there every step of the way, very supportive from moment one. We've seen a lot of them here at Impact Wrestling. They feel like a part of our family, and of course, so is Alicia, but all the tension between Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards has made it very strange in that household. So this is a different scenario for Eddie Edwards, whereas it might give the advantage to Josh.
Alexander back up to his feet. Oh, but for how much longer?
Josh Alexander talks about living, breathing, and quite literally bleeding Impact Wrestling. He's proving that beyond a shadow of a doubt here tonight.
Look at the eyes of Alexander.
Alexander not giving an inch to the leader of Honor No More, despite everything thrown in his direction.
Champion and challenger pulverizing each other in the main event.
The Bulls are locking horns, throwing blows back and forth here.
Clubbing blows.
Neither one of them wants to give an inch, wants to give way. Everything on the line for both of them. The message, the movement for Eddie Edwards. The championship, his existence here at Impact Wrestling for Josh Alexander.
Alexander continues to battle back. Alexander defiant in the face of Eddie Edwards, who spits into the face of the champion.
Much like he's spit in the face of Impact Wrestling willingly, time and time again, and the champ is firing up and firing back.
Look at Alexander go, hammering away on Edwards. Oh, that quick strike to that busted nose.
Quick jab.
Oh,
but just like that.
Went for the C4 spike. Edwards rolled through, shoulders down. Alexander kicked out.
Tried to get a quick one on Alexander there, not to be.
Oh, and a clothesline. Alexander goes down.
That sickening thud across the collarbone of Josh Alexander.
Going for another Boston knee party. Cold cocked by Alexander.
Oh, and another one.
Following it up. C4 spike.
He got him. Finally.
Josh Alexander. There's the heart. There's the soul of Impact Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner is still Impact World Champion, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander.
Shane and Jet looking on as Alexander went through the battle of a lifetime to successfully defend his Impact World title.
Up next, it's our Xplosion main event. Hammerstone squares off with Conan Lycan. Next. Welcome back to TNA Xplosion, and now it's time for our main event.
The following contest is set for one fall. Introducing first, from South Troy, New York, Conan Lycan.
We are set for action here inside Skyway Studios in the home of TNA Wrestling, Nashville, Tennessee. Conan Lycan making his official TNA in-ring debut.
And what a place to make it here in Skyway Studios.
This is such an exciting opportunity. Conan Lycan getting to hop inside the ring, albeit with some towering competition. But what you and I know about Conan Lycan is that he is an eye-popping athlete for someone his size.
Absolutely, a former Division I football player, and his athleticism shows just how capable he is to hang with anyone here in the TNA locker room.
Let's see how Conan Lycan fares here tonight on Xplosion.
His opponent being accompanied by Jake something, Hammerstone.
It was last week on Xplosion we saw Hammerstone go one-on-one with Cody Deaner and get the victory. And we had been joined on commentary that night by Jake something, who was very outspoken about all of his frustrations over the last year here in TNA Wrestling and beyond. And we're once again joined here on commentary by Jake something. We see how Hammerstone will deal with Conan Lycan tonight here on Xplosion. Jake, you have been very outspoken on social media about how devastating, how good you think this team of you and Hammerstone can be. What did you take away from Hammerstone's victory last week against your own cousin?
You said, what did I think? And it's not a matter of thinking, it's knowing. Look at him. It's not a takeaway. Just look. That's all you have to do is look. He's in there with an athlete right now, right? An athlete. Hammerstone is the athlete. He trains like one. He lives like one. He breathes like one.
Hammerstone trying to control things early here against Conan Lycan. And Gia, you talked about a former Division I football player is Conan Lycan. He has some uncanny agility for a man his size.
He certainly does, and he's got a lot of strength behind him, too. I mean, he just put Hammerstone flat on his back.
Yeah, anybody can get lucky once. It's not that impressive, you know.
Oh!
Off of the ropes, went for the one-legged moonsault. And a one-legged drop kick there by Hammerstone.
Now that is impressive.
Oh, now look at the strength of Hammerstone dropping Lycan.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That's what I've been saying.
Now, Jake, last time you were here, I do think that maybe we got off on the wrong foot. We talked a lot about expectations and maybe not meeting all of those expectations. But I have to say, you did have a point with everything that you said about the dominance that Hammerstone brings, and especially the two of you together. I think it put everyone on notice. So what are your expectations for the two of you moving forward?
Well, let me just put it like this. We were both disappointed by the way the things were transpiring here. He should be world champion. I should be world champion. Hell, I should be X Division champion. He should be X Division champion. We should hold every single title that there is here, right? So that's exactly what we're going to go for.
Oof. Well, it certainly seems like dominance is your goal, and I mean, I can't blame you for that. And Hammerstone is certainly being dominant over Conan Lycan right now.
Like he does. Like he does. This is it's every time. You could take Conan's name and replace it with any other name. This is what's going to happen.
Jacob, have you had any communication with your cousin Cody since last week?
I never wanted to communicate with him to begin with, okay? That was a necessity. That necessity has run its course. That's who I want to be aligned with. That's who I want to communicate with. That's a like-minded individual. Take a look around. Look in this crowd. Take a look. Not one person in here is like me except for him.
Now Lycan trying to battle back against Hammerstone, dropping bombs here against the big man, and Hammerstone absorbed that. I mean, overhead exploder power.
Man, the look in Hammerstone's eyes, it's just terrifying.
Ooh, shoulder first into the steel post. Lycan able to sidestep him.
I'm surprised he didn't break that turnbuckle in half, I'm going to be honest with you. Come on, Hammer.
I have to give it to Conan Lycan, taking his time to recover, but he needs to stay on Hammerstone while he's got the chance.
Come on, Hammer.
And now, big right hand by Hammerstone, stunning Lycan.
Championship material.
Up onto the shoulders, Lycan. Maybe thinking about a Samoan drop there off of the ropes, and a pump kick there by Hammerstone. German suplex.
Time to end it. Time to end it.
I touched on expectations earlier. I mean, were you guys expecting this out of Conan Lycan? I mean, this is a pretty impressive debut here.
Like I said, he is an athlete, but that is the athlete. So yeah, Conan's getting a little lucky right here, right now. I guarantee you, that man right there, Alex Hammerstone, he's going to rise to the occasion. He's going to put him down.
Trying to roll through, was maybe thinking about a 450. Hammerstone got out of the way, charged into the corner with a pump kick. Now Lycan, look at the strength of Lycan.
Holy cow.
Lycan dumping Hammerstone. Is it enough to get the win and a kick out?
Wow.
Getting angry.
Well, frustration's understandable. I mean, hey, maybe you and Hammerstone could look at maybe including Conan Lycan in your little in your group.
Is this like some weird little fun for you?
No.
You said that we got off on the wrong foot before. You got off on the wrong foot, and you're doing it again.
My sincerest apologies. That is not my intention at all.
Was trying to set up Hammerstone there, trying to put this thing away. Back elbow there. Oh, by the great white shark of TNA.
Uh-oh.
And now Hammerstone, look at the power. Getting the big man up. Nightmare pendulum. Hammerstone wins.
Count to 1,000,000.
Here is your winner, Hammerstone.
Yeah, it's very clear to me that Jake Something and Hammerstone have all the confidence in the world right now.
I mean, and I can't take it away from him. When you're as dominant as that, you have to be confident.
Hammerstone gets a victory here against Conan Lycan on TNA Xplosion on our march towards Bound for Glory.